Hey guys, welcome back to Objective Reviews. My name's Nick and this is the Q&A March 2018 edition, and we'll be also checking out the giveaway winner in this video, so get up for that. So let's start up with the very first question that I have, and this is from the Jan-Feb 2018 Q&A video, and so I'm going to take it up because that came in later when this video was announced, so it's still a legit question, I guess. So it's still a valid question, and the question is pretty simply, what is my favorite Bollywood movie? And this is from Saurav Jyoti Roy. And Saurav Jyoti, my favorite Bollywood movie till date has been, well, in the recent ones, it's definitely Newton. And if you're asking all time, like which has been my favorite all time Bollywood movie, Bahubali doesn't count, does it? Well, since Bahubali doesn't count, since technically it isn't a Bollywood movie, this is a tough one. I wasn't expecting it to be this tough. I want to say Dil Chahta Hai or Three Idiots, but no, they haven't been like something which is really close to me. Well, I guess the answer is going to be Rang De Basanti, because that is one movie that is really close to my heart. So I'm definitely going to go with Rang De Basanti. Next up is, as usual, Mr. Rishabh Kabare. A repeat questioner? Questioner? What is the word for this? So anyways, so Rishabh, to the answer to my previous Q&A video, he writes, hi, so yada, thanks for answering. I picked Chitare Bandhu especially for their Motichur Laddu. By the way, I'll try to post a funny question per AMA. Well, keep him coming like you did in this Q&A. So I'm going to go ahead and find that one. And let's see, it should be right here somewhere. So Rishabh's question for this AMA is, why and how did I choose iOS for developing apps? And it was a pretty simple choice. Well, because I have been using the iPhone since the original one came. The App Store on the iPhone, or iOS in general, launched with the iPhone 3, which I also had. So I've had every iPhone since the original iPhone except for the 4S and the 5S. So those are the only two ones I have never ever owned. So because I've owned all of these, and because the App Store came much before the Play Store, and since I never had Android phones till the Google Nexus 5X, the choice was made for me. And this is something I wanted to explore early on, and so the App Store is what I got into. And he also asks, I'm sorry, this is not my original question, but never mind, #AMA, what is your monthly internet bill? No, my monthly internet usage. It's about a terabyte and a few gigabytes over that, but it usually hovers around the 1 to 1.1 terabytes. Yeah, there's a lot of data crunching that happens on that guy. And we have a surprise guest on this edition of the Q&A, and that is Mr. Dhananjay Bhosle. His question is down there in the comments. I'll just read it out to you guys. What are your thoughts on HDR video? Do you think it can be the future? This is a... Okay, so let's get some context for me to give you a good answer. The very first problem we hit into when we're talking about HDR is the number of specs that are floating around currently. There's no one standard spec. Like, say we have, for example, for resolutions, we have 1920 by 1080 for 1080p, and then we have 2560 by 1440p, 1440 for 1440p. You get the idea. There's no one standard spec for HDR. There are multiple. So you have PG and HLG, So you have PQ and HLG for the color transformation, and then you have DCI-P3, which Apple is using, and these are all different kinds of color profiles and color transformation matrices. And then you have your Dolby Vision HDR10, and then what the Japanese use, which is HLG, which has just come out in the Sony A7 III. And right off the bat, you have a lot of permutations and combinations that are possible. Now, right now, Amazon is using HLG, and Netflix is using PQ. So that is the thing. So these two companies are already divided on which transformation matrix to use, but for us on the end consumer end, it doesn't really affect us as long as our display, or for example a television set, can support both. Now the second problem being the brightness. Now HDR10, what it stands for is HDR at 1000 nits. So the 10 times 10 gives you, no, 10 times 100 gives you 1000. So at 1000 nits, that is what the HDR10 spec stands for. However, you do have displays that are 500 nits, 600 nits, and so on, all the way up to a little under 1000 nits, which say they are HDR10 capable, but it doesn't technically mean that it's actually HDR10. Now there are also displays that will handle all three kinds. They'll handle Dolby's system, they'll handle HLG, and they'll handle PQ. And that is absolutely brilliant if you can find a TV set like that for a good price. But for example, Xiaomi's TV set, which claims to support HDR, does not mention which kind of HDR or which HDR spec does it support. So it's just there apparently, and it's a bit confusing for the end consumer. Now, if you or any of you all watching have missed my two HDR videos that I posted on this channel, the Switch and the Switch dock review, I'll link it here, you can go check it out. You'll need an HDR capable display to actually play it back properly. But the point I'm trying to make here regarding this is that producing the very first one, the Switch review, was incredibly hard. If I output the video and go and play it back on my TV to verify that everything is right, it used to play back perfectly fine. It used to give me the HDR badge on the top right, and so I knew that whatever I was doing was correct. When I made the final output for YouTube and uploaded it, YouTube told me that it's not HDR, which was a bit confusing. So YouTube expects your HDR videos to be packaged in a certain way, in YouTube's way, and that is a bit annoying to get right. But once you finalize that workflow, once you get it right and your workflow is solid, producing that second video for me was pretty easy because I know exactly what YouTube is expecting, so I can just only deliver that and not tinker with anything else. So for any of you all wondering, the base limitation for shooting HDR video and editing and finally outputting it is that your videos have to be at least 10-bit. And most cameras out there which YouTubers are using aren't capable of 10-bit. Now, for example, the Ursa Mini that I'm using is the Sony a7 III, is the Sony a7S II, is the GH5 and the 5S-R, and so on. So you need a 10-bit capable camera to actually shoot and edit and produce a HDR video. So it's not something that is for everyone, and if you certainly don't have a workstation grade computer, do not attempt this. But here's the thing, once you watch something in HDR, like I've been doing over the past couple of months, I have watched all possible kinds of movies in 4K HDR, and it just blows my mind. So now my current plan of action is to get a couple of studio monitors and have them set up either on my computer or next to my television set and rewatch all of these movies because they are all encoded with Dolby Digital 5.1 surround sound, and that is pretty exciting. So that is probably going to end up giving me the best 4K HDR plus audio experience that I can get out of that TV. And upgrading to an OLED 4K HDR TV is certainly on my wish list, but it's on my wish list. Alright guys, that's it for this version of the Q&A, AMA, whatever you guys want to call it. If I did not take up your question, or if you want to ask a question, you can still comment down below and just tag it with #AMA so I know what to pick up. And if I didn't get to answer your question, sorry about that. I'll definitely take them up in the next one. And for now, we need to announce the giveaway winner, and that is Mr. Vishal Gajanan Giri from Pune. Dude, high five, hometown represent. So Vishal, I have probably already sent you an email about this. Go check your inbox. All the information regarding the giveaway is in there on how you can follow up. So if you did not win the giveaway, don't fret, because April is right around the corner and the next giveaway will be announced in the very first week of April, so you can get on that. I hope to see more questions from you guys. I hope to see more of you guys participating in the giveaway. And the last thing I want to say, because I just just realized is thank you for helping me hit the 1000 subscriber benchmark. I'm absolutely thankful, but I'll be making a separate video on the whole matter. So that's it for now. Cheers.